stream as usual. Always have to refresh a couple times before I find it. There it is. Always a little bit of a delay before it pops up there. So, let's see if the notifications go out. Excuse me. Okay, so we've got one person in the house so far, and we'll give a few moments for a couple of the stragglers to get in here. This is a kind of an unusual time. This is a Sunday afternoon, and it is 3:34 p.m. So we're seeing some indications that there might be some softening on the watch speculation market, and I'm going to pull up an article here in a moment. We're going to talk about it. Let's see here. I'm going to find the link. And this was an article by Watch Pro. It was sent over to me by David Williams. Shout out to David. So, let's see what we got going on here. It looks like we are live. I wonder if the notifications went out. Anyway, what we're going to talk about is this article that's in Trevor's in the house. We're going to talk about this article that folks at Watch Pro put out. And I'll just go over it real quick here briefly, and then we'll talk about it. So it says, too much new stock on Chrono 24 contributes to downgrade of Swatch Group by investment bank. And this is dated November 23, so this is just 2 days ago. And investment bank RBC Capital Market is tracking the percentage of listings for new unworn watches versus pre-owned on Chrono 24 and using the data to assess the health of the world's biggest watchmakers. Of course, one of the biggest is Rolex. The theory is that a glut of brand new watches appearing on the secondary market is a signal that there is less genuine demand from consumers, forcing authorized dealers to flush stock through the gray market. In other words, sell watches that they can't sell out the back door. And, to get rid of stock, they sell it to resellers, gray market. And that's why some of them end up in Costco and places like that. And, of course, on websites like Chrono 24. Swatch Group price shares is down 40% since June. That's no joke. 40% since June. And Richemont is down 35% since its 52-week high in May. RBC found that on November 16, there were 274,754 watches listed on Chrono 24 from the top 30 Swiss brands. Of these, over half, 143,000, are described as new or unworn. 1 in 5 of the new unworn watches listed are 2018 models, a total of 53,754 pieces. And here's a breakdown, and it says 12% of them are Rolex, 12% Patek, Vacheron Constantin 14, Jaeger-LeCoultre 17. So this is no joke. This is a lot of watches. Notice Panerai and Omega 25 and 26%, Blancpain 27%. So interesting indicator there. I'll tell you what, some of these speculators might get caught holding the bag. They might get caught holding the bag. Okay. Did I beat Trevor? No, Trevor beat you. They went out, Craig. Okay, nice sweater. Okay, so here's the deal. I went through my I have a cedar chest that I put all the cashmere stuff in, so hopefully moths don't get to them. And so I went through that whole thing, and I took a whole bunch of photos of some more like cashmere stuff to add to that photo set that I had on Flickr of high-end brands, so that those of you that want to get creative and go out and search some of the used clothing places, some of the Goodwills. In this country, we have like Goodwill, we have Salvation Army, different places where people donate things. And here's the thing, this time of the year, going towards the end of the year, is actually a good time to hunt those places for deals, because a lot of the wealthy people want to make donations to those places before the end of the year so they can write off on the taxes. And so they might go through their whole wardrobe. And plus, this is the time of year when they renew their wardrobe, they buy new stuff and all, and they get rid of stuff that doesn't fit them or whatever. And so it's just a good time where some of this high-end stuff ends up getting donated, and you might be able to scarf some stuff up. Speaking of high-end, how does that gold stunner look with this outfit? What do you all think about that? That be a grand Seiko that I bought for $3,200. It was either 32 or 3,300. I keep forgetting. 18 karat gold stunner. What do you think about that? I don't need no Patek Philippe. Okay. Craig, how cheap do you think a Rolex sub will cost if Rolex prices crash? It'll go back to what it used to be in the old days, where typically you could buy one brand new for about 20% off of list price back in the day, and used usually at least 30 or 40% off if it was a late model used one. The gold ones within a year or two would lose half their value. So if it was like 30,000 new, it'd be like 15,000. That was kind of like a rule of thumb back in the day. So I'm sure it'll go back to that sort of thing. It's not like you're going to be able to get them for 25 cents on the dollar. I mean, that's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to crash that bad. I think it's going to crash to where we'll be back to where they used to be, where you can get one used for like 40% off of a list, and brand new for around 20% off. Somewhere in that neighborhood. You know what's better than that? Tell me what's better than that. Oh, and here's the other thing about wearing cashmere. First of all, the chicks dig it. They love to touch it. They love to like put their hands all over it. That's a plus. But it does keep you warm, and yet you don't overheat like if you're wearing like synthetic fibers like polyester or something. It'll breathe still, right? But here's the deal. I keep this place 62 degrees in the winter. And I just put something like this on. And that saves me money so that I have more money. I'm not paying it to the utility company to heat this place. I have more money to go out and buy a gold stunner like that. So what do you all think about buying a gold stunner instead of spending your money on heating bills? What do you think about that? Okay, so we got some comments here. Why do you feel like you needed the gold GS? You have the date. Isn't that your dress? Here's the problem that I ran into with the rotating the date is I wouldn't wear it enough and it would stop on me. And so with a dress watch, I don't wear them as often. Now, in the winter time, like now, I would wear them more because I'm wearing long shirts more with a cuff. That's where I need it when I have something that has to go underneath the cuff. In the summertime, I've either got my sleeves rolled up I'm wearing a polo shirt, so I would be wearing the sport watch most of the time. But in the wintertime, I'm trying to rotate between the gold watch and a steel watch, and the Rolex would stop running. I wouldn't give it enough wrist time. Whereas the beauty of this watch is, first of all, it's thinner. It's 10 millimeters thick, so it slips under the cuff easier than the Date 8, which is about 12 and a half millimeter, depending on who you talk to. And this will never stop because obviously it's a 9F quartz. So it can sit for a week or a month or whatever, and I just put it on and it's fine and it's accurate. I don't have to reset it and all that. So there's some convenience factors to it. I think it's pretty stunning. Obviously, the Date 8 is stunning too. The Date 8 is more in your face. This is a little bit more elegant, I think. They're both fantastic watches. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, but for a straight-up dress watch, I like the thinner profile of this. See how thin that is? Get it back so it's a little more in focus. See that? That's pretty elegant, if you ask me. Okay. You know what is better than a gold Seiko? The SBGW 252. Let me see which model that is. Let me see what model that is. Even paired with a white t-shirt. There you go. I think you got to wear a long sleeve, nice dress cuff with a nice dress shirt, a nice dress watch. Otherwise, I would just probably go with a sport watch. Oh, that does look nice. The 252 does look nice. Let me get it up here on the screen. There's the 252, SBGW 252. That's pretty sweet. Let me visit their website, their article here. That is nice. Don't tell me they don't make some stunners. Let's see. I'm trying to find some more information about it here. 38 mil, so it's a good size. What's the movement? I guess it's a automatic movement. See, that's the problem. It would stop on me. -3 plus 5 seconds a day. So yeah, see, it's not as accurate as my watch, obviously, because it's a mechanical movement. That would be a nice watch if you wore it more often. Okay, but the problem I would have with it is I'd be right back to the same problem with the Date 8, where it would be stopping on me if I don't wear it for a couple days. And I hate having to wind up and reset and recalibrate the second hand to the minute hand. I just don't like going through all that. What's on your tie? It's a pheasant. It's a pheasant. Tie is about 30 years old, easily. Not a real expensive tie. This one came from Joseph A. Bank. It is 100% silk. You definitely want to make sure any tie you get is 100% silk. Joseph A. Bank sold stuff, or still does, that's similar to Brooks Brothers, but more affordable. They're okay quality, but I would go up a little higher in quality. I did not include a photo of this in my... I generally don't include any Joseph A. Bank stuff in high-end recommendations. I'm getting impression that Rolex has created this situation. As dust settling down, as you rightfully noticed, the retail price increase became obvious. At least 2,000 up for the past few months. Speedy Trevor taking back his throne. There you go. Craig, that gold GS you're looking at right now is absolutely stunning. Absolutely, it's stunning. They don't make Okay, they make some gold stunners that I don't like the shape of the case. Some of them I would pass, but they make some that are just stunning. And you could say the same thing about Patek. Patek makes some case designs that I'm not a fan of, but they make some that are just absolutely stunning. And GS is the same way. So, so Steve put out a photo on his Instagram of the case and all the watches getting ready to go in the case, all his Omegas. I think he said he had 60 of them or something in stock. He's no joke. I mean, he is a watch guy. Let me tell you something. He doesn't fool around. If he gets watches in stock, he gets them in stock. I'd hate to think what his inventory cost is there. All right. So anybody else have any thoughts about that article that I shared? Let me bring it back up. This is the article. And I'll put the link in the chat. So if any of you all want to take a look at it later, you can. But the idea is what they're saying is, A, the stock prices have been crashing on these companies. And B, there's a whole bunch of gray market inventory out there. Here's the link. Howdy. Okay. Can you link his Instagram? Yeah, I'll find it. I'll find it here in a second. Just give me a second. Hi, Craig. What's your preference in terms of a gold color, rose gold, or yellow? Absolutely, I would go with yellow gold. Yellow gold, 18 karat gold. It's gorgeous. I don't see a need for the rose colored stuff. I just don't. The yellow gold is stunning. And plus, if you just get everything in 18 karat yellow gold, like for example, you get cufflinks, you get a pin, you get whatever you get, it's always going to match. But if some is rose gold and some is regular and some is like a different shade of rose gold and all this stuff, standard 18 karat gold will generally always match. And so it just makes things easier. Plus, it looks gorgeous. GS make a Datejust-esque watch. Check their website. Since you said you would like Rolex Datejust, it is quartz. Oh, so they make one that's quartz, is what you're saying? They do make a quartz, a limited edition one that I saw that's in my latest video from out there that was absolutely gorgeous, and it was not that thick, and it was a great size for like an all-around watch. Yeah, they do make some quartz watches that are thin that would be a perfect all-around watch to wear for dress, sport, whatever you want to wear it for, because they're thin enough to go under the shirt. Yeah, it's a remaking of the first ever Grand Seiko made. There's a gold, platinum, and stainless steel version. Loving the Argyle sweater, Craig. Oh, thank you. Good afternoon, Craig. Agree on the sweater. I, Craig, just emailed you a GS eBay listing because it didn't show up in chat. Okay, let's take a look. You can always email me my name at gmail.com. Simple as that. Pull this up. Oh, yeah, I've seen these watches before. Let's bring it up here. Oh, it's already on the broadcast. Okay, so I already had the screen on the broadcast. Good. Okay, so, yeah, I've seen these watches before. It comes down to what the size is. Let me go through the pictures here first. But they're really gorgeous. And like, I've seen some ladies' watches with the steel and gold like this that were really reasonable. So I might pick one of those up for one of my lady friends just to have it in stock. So like, if one of my lady friends treats me specially nice, I might just have it handy, ready to give. Beautiful, beautiful ladies love to have a nice, well-made, classy timepiece. They're no different than guys in that regard. Okay, so let's see what size this thing is. 36 mil. Yeah. Holy cow. I'm thinking about buying that right now. Now, it does have the old dial, so it has the Seiko at the top and the Grand Seiko at the bottom, but to me, that's not a total deal killer. See, if you had the model number, if it was a SBGX 202, if you take that first 0 right there and put a 2, that would generally be the new model. So let's try a search and see if there's anything with the new model. Two. No, looks like we're just getting BS results. Yeah, we're not getting anywhere with that. So there obviously aren't any. So yeah, that was a good looking watch. I'm thinking about snagging that myself, and I don't even need a watch. That tells you that how good a deal it is. Okay. Your video has paused. Is it paused now? It says I'm live. I hope this thing isn't screwing up again. Craig, were you able to wear your GMT Masters under your dress shirt cuffs? Not very well. And even the date 8, there would be times when it would be dicey. I could do it. I mean, you could do it. But what happens is if the watch is too big, it gets stuck under there, right? And you can't get it out. And you know, so you're like wrestling with it. My problem is that, and this can be solved by just having your shirts custom made. Of course, the price goes way up. But anyway, my problem is my wrist size is about 7 1/4 to a 7 1/2, depending on the time of the year. And years ago, it was probably bigger, right? Because I have lost some weight because I don't exercise as much as I used to and stuff like that. You know, I'm getting old. But anyway, the problem is when your wrist is a little bit bigger, the shirts are the same. Like if you buy a 16-33 shirt, the cuffs are all going to be the same. Or you buy a 15 1/2 33 shirt, the cuffs are going to be all the same. So if your wrist is smaller, then obviously you've got more room for the watch to slip under. So it's going to depend on your wrist size as to how much clearance you have on the cuff. And some shirt cuffs have more clearance than others. So some shirt cuffs, it's not as big an issue. But the bottom line is the thinner the watch and the thinner like if you have a leather strap that's not too thick and stuff like that, and a clasp that's not too thick, the thinner the better when it comes to wearing it in this kind of a situation where you want to be able to shoot it out. That's what I call shooting it out, when you just shoot your arm and then the watch is out, you know, without having to wrestle with it too much. Let's see. Watch prices are already inflated. About time they came down. Yeah. Seiko, never heard of them. A real man wears a roll. Okay, he's talking about Rolex, I guess. People that are in the know, are educated, we wear Grand Seikos. I mean the video. Okay. I wanted to ask you about your sweater collection for the winter, and here you are totally wearing one. Well, there you go. Me, Roger, is in the building. Craig, what are your thoughts on grip strengtheners? Okay, so we'll talk about that. My wrist is 6.75 inches or maybe a little less. So that's why I asked about the GMT. Well, Brian, you probably won't have a problem because you got some more wiggle room because you have a smaller wrist. It'll probably work with the shirt cuffs fine for you. Would be my guess. Because I think the GMT is about 12 millimeters thick, correct? Can you confirm that? I think it's about 12 millimeters, so it's about the same as the Date 8. little bit bigger watch, but still the thickness is the biggest, most important aspect of it. Okay, and by the way, let me put a link to the photos on Flickr so that any of you all that want to gain access to the photos with all the brand names, you will have access to those. Trying to get it to load here. Flickr's been running kind of slow since they were bought out by SmugMug. I hope SmugMug doesn't screw it up, because I really like Flickr. It's like a database. It really makes it easy to organize stuff. Okay. I mean, I've got like 50,000 photos on it. And you got to have them organized, otherwise you can't get to anything. All right, so here we go. I'm going to just say clothing. And I'll put the link in here. So that's the photo set. And I added a bunch more photos. I added a bunch more shoe photos. I added the sweaters. I added even a couple of belts. I'm adding any kind of high-end stuff I can think of that you guys might want to try to snag at a deal. Either on eBay. Of course, you're going to pay more on eBay because the pickers, you know, they're going out to like a thrift store or something and they're buying it, right? And then they're reselling it on eBay. So obviously they're going to make a markup. You're paying them for their time and effort, right, to go out and find this thing and then box it up and ship it to you. So you're going to pay more. But you're still going to get a deal compared to buying anything new. And even if you go to Walmart and you buy a halfway decent shirt new at Walmart, not that that's all you can get is halfway decent, maybe a quarter of the way decent. You're probably going to pay, what, $20? Can somebody tell me how much a dress shirt, like all cotton, if they even sell them, first of all, 100% cotton dress shirt at Walmart costs? Maybe you can put it in the chat. Let's say it's $20, just to throw out a number. I guarantee you, if you look, you can buy a high-end dress shirt on eBay for $20 shipped. If you take your time and look and snag a deal. It's going to be like $14.50 plus $5 shipping or something. It's going to be $20, right? For a shirt that retails for like $150 to $250, maybe even $300 retail shirt. I'm talking high-end stuff here. No sense buying anything that's not high-end when you're buying stuff like that. Craig, what other sweaters do you wear? Do you have cashmere? Yes, this is cashmere that I have on right now. You look like you would enjoy the comfort of a cashmere sweater. Yes, most of mine are cashmere. I have a bunch of pictures in that link that I just shared of cashmere sweaters, probably at least a half dozen of them. The only thing about cashmere is don't let the moths get to them, because they will feast. They get a little taste of cashmere. So keep those puppies away from them. The best way to do that is to actually use them on a regular basis. You put them in a dark closet, like in the back of a dark closet, like all hanging together or something, and just leave them there. I mean, that's like a feast for moths if they get back in there. They'll just have a picnic. If you agitate them and use them and you know, they can't settle in and make their home and feast if you're using them often or moving them around. I keep these in a cedar chest that when you close it, like a Lane cedar chest, I don't know if you've ever seen that. When you close it, it really seals all the way around. So it's very difficult for moths to get to it. So that's where I keep them when I'm not using them. But if you're using them on a fairly regular basis, it's not going to be a problem. But that's the only downside to them. And people say they don't wear that well and all this. I think they wear fine. And you can wash them in Woolite. If you're careful, you can wash them in a very gentle cycle Woolite if you have to. You know, if something spills on them or something like that. But everybody these days, they're all buying synthetic crap. You know, they're not buying cashmere anymore. But then again, I don't do like everybody else. That's why I'm wearing this stunner right here. Can we say stunner? Okay. The pre-ceramic 5-digit GMT Master has 12.4 millimeter case height. Though the bubble back will sink into my wrist nicely, so maybe a tad lower. Yeah, but that's taken in for, we take that as part of the calculation. We realize that's going to happen. So you're okay. 12.4, you're okay. That, some of the day dates I think are about that. Some of them are 12. It depends on the model. They varied a little bit. So I think you're going to be fine, Brian. I wouldn't sweat it. I think you're going to be fine. And like I say, you can buy some dress shirts that have more room in the cuff. So I would do some checking and see, maybe the Brooks Brothers shirts would have a little more play for you in the cuff. Like I would get one shirt, like maybe start with a Brooks Brothers. You can find them on eBay like crazy. And get one your correct size. Try to get one of the older ones that's made in the USA. Search your size. Let's say your shirt size is 15.5, 33. I'm just throwing out a number here. First of all, you got to find out what your shirt size is. But let's say it's 15.5, 33. Go to eBay, put in a search, say Brooks Brothers 15.5. So that's 15 space 1/2, right? 15.5, 33, and then put space, and then put USA. So you try to sort it down to the ones that were made in the USA when they were really making the high quality stuff, right? Some of them I think still are. Because, for example, Gitman Brothers, which I mentioned in my video the other day, I just bought 2 new shirts from them. They still make them in Pennsylvania. Super high-end shirts. So some of these companies still make them in the U.S. Kenneth Gordon, I think, still makes them in the U.S. and sometimes for Brooks Brothers. So yeah, I think you're gonna be fine. All right, well, let's look at some pictures of some cashmere. Since somebody brought it up while we're here, let's look at some pictures of some cashmere. Okay, let's be honest here. Is the Tudor Black Bay Heritage the best new bang for the buck watch steel diver on the market currently? No, I would pass on the Tudor completely. I wouldn't even consider the Tudor. For that kind of money, you can buy a used Grand Seiko. We just saw a good example of one. You'd have a much better watch. You can also buy probably a Omega. Get a good deal on an Omega for the same amount of money, and I think you're getting a much better watch than the Black Bay Heritage. Don't let these log rollers, these watch channel guys, brainwash you into thinking that a Tudor is like all that in a bag of chips. It is not. It never was. I've had Rolexes for 40 years. Tudor was never the way to go. It wasn't the way to go 30 years ago. It wasn't the way to go 20 years ago. It wasn't the way to go 10 years ago, and it ain't the way to go now, and it isn't going to be the way to go 10 years from now. It's a redheaded stepchild of the Rolex family. Don't buy a Tudor, and if you have a Tudor, get rid of it while you can. Okay, based on the article you have linked, we can get a deal on Swatch Group watches like Omega, right? Absolutely, I'd get a deal on an Omega. Going to make those cash deals with Steve. Absolutely, Steve will negotiate. Steve's going to want to move inventory because let me tell you something. He just got 60 watches in. That's a lot of money he's got tied up in those puppies, and he's got to move inventory. Because here's the way those deals work. You seem to be new here. We have concluded that Tudors are no-name dog watches. Yes, absolutely. I love my Black Bay and Red. Sell it. Get out of that thing and get a real watch. Tudor is all that and a bag of off-brand potato chips. Redheaded stepchild. We need, okay. All right, so this is the way it works with these Omegas and any of these brands that Steve gets in. He gets a whole bunch of watches in, okay? The quicker he sells those watches, the quicker he can get more inventory in, and he's in the good graces with Omega. And the better he's in good graces with Omega, the easier it is for him to get watches that might be a little harder to get, that might be in a little bit shorter supply. If he's moving a lot of watches, he gets first dibs on limited editions and different things, right? And also he gets more advertising money from them. It all snowballs on itself. There are a lot of benefits to him for moving inventory. And don't tell him I told you all this. I'm giving you some inside information here, okay? But which means that you're in the driver's seat if you've got money. If you've got cash to buy a watch, you're in the freaking driver's seat. And that goes for any AD that you're dealing with. And I've heard rumors that Rolex ADs are giving discounts now, even on sport watches. Okay, I had a subscriber that was offered 10% off on a sub. So remember, they want to move inventory. And if they sell that inventory out the back door to a gray market guy, they're taking a risk. Because if they get caught doing that, if they're not careful and they get caught doing that, they could lose their franchise. I mean, plus, they're probably going to give the gray market guy more than 10% off. They're probably going to give him 20 or 30% off, right, to move the inventory. So that then he can make a profit, right? So they'd rather give you 10% and have a real retail buyer than blow it out the back door to a gray market guy. Too much back inventory. Clive is smoking 3 packs of cigarettes in a dark room somewhere. All right, let's show some photos, and then I got to take a short break because I forgot to get my H2O here. I got to get some H2O. I'm going to blow through these real quick because some of these you guys have already seen. Okay. So I'm going to blow through them real quick. And again, I put the link in the chat. So let's just go through these real quick. H. Freeman and Sons, that's a really good brand. Anything that's Harris Tweed, those are going to hold up really well. And you want to get them tailored in the U.S. or tailored in England or Scotland, something like that. You know, high-end tailors. There's a cashmere sport coat. That's a high-end brand right there. So you're going to be able to see all these brand names if you go to these photos, so you'll know what you're hunting for, okay? Corbin Limited, anything sold by the Georgetown University shop is not going to be junk, okay? I bought a lot of stuff from them over the years, Georgetown University shop, and they do not sell junk. So there's that. There's another one that came from the Georgetown University shop. You see it's a different brand name. It was made by a different tailoring company, but it's sold by Georgetown University shop. And again, they don't sell junk. If you see stuff with their label on it, and Macy's was pretty good. They sold pretty good stuff. This one was camel hair. And this is out of England, okay? So we'll keep moving through real fast. And this one's from Ireland, made in Ireland. Cashmere wool and mohair. And that's another one that's 100% camel hair that came from a place on Cape Cod. And again, I'm going fast because you guys can go and look at these at your leisure and get these names, write these names down and do some searches. And if you want to go, you know, to a high-end area where there's a bunch of thrift stores, you're going to find these things. Rich people are going to be donating this stuff. Another Harris Tweed. Lord & Taylor, that was a high-end. I don't know if they're still in business or not, Lord & Taylor. And again, where do you think that came from? Georgetown University shop. Oak Loom Clothes was the tailor. Sulka & Company, they don't sell any junk. There's another company out of Beverly Hills. Kenneth Gordon, they make high-end, really good shirts. And they make them for different companies, for different retailers. There's Saks Fifth Avenue. Nordstrom sells some good stuff. Some of it's made overseas now, so I'd be a little careful there. Let's see, watches. Okay, Bill's Khakis. They're great, made in USA. You want to make sure you get the ones that are made in USA. They're all over eBay, by the way, so you can find Bill's Khakis. I wouldn't pay more than like $20 for a pair in really good condition. I'm talking if they're in mint condition. don't buy anything that shows any signs of wear or anything. There's no need to. You can always find them in mint condition. Those jeans are made in U.S. Mongolian cashmere coat, Harris tweed, top coat, high-end, Burberry trench coat, more Burberry, of course, high-end Lucchese boots. Those I sold. Those were Nakoma boots. They didn't fit as good as the Lucchese's, but those were freaking sea turtle leather. Can you imagine? The PETA people would go crazy. There's another picture of the Lucchese's. Limer boots I had custom made. Long waiting list. But Made in Maine collection Sperry boat shoes. If you can find them, they're worth getting. They stopped making them recently. There's Wested leather coat out of England. That's made of kangaroo leather. That was a limited edition by U.S. Wings. Of course, notice the president bracelet there. There's my Averex. I ended up selling that because I just wasn't wearing the damn thing. And I sold it to a guy who was really happy to get it. There's a trench coat Burberry. Turnbull and Asher shirt. You guys have seen me wear that. Out of England. There's another suit, Hart Schafter Marks. That's a good brand name. There's a cashmere sport coat. Nothing like cashmere, I'm telling you right now. There it is again. There's another Harris tweed. That's cashmere, 100% cashmere. You can almost tell by looking at it. Hickey Freeman is a really good name brand, by the way. Hickey Freeman. Notice that. Pure cashmere. Little day date rolling in. Little stunner. That's my living room. I was watching one of my own videos just to see what it would look like in a living room. And it was stunning. Nordstrom. They make some good stuff, but that's made in Malaysia. I think that's the shirt I have on right now, actually. Yeah, that's the shirt I have on right now. Kenneth Gordon, again, high-end stuff. That one is cotton and linen. That's their heirloom collection. $250 shirt, retail. Gucci's. Look at the little president bracelet in the background. Averex. Oh, there's the two shirts I bought the other day. With a discount, $279. Okay, and there's another suit. Hart Schafter Marks. That's a good brand name. There you go. Suited up, ready to go out and do some damage. Take no prisoners mode. Oh, there's the Gitman Brothers shirt. Work boots made in USA. Tell me they don't make stuff in the USA anymore. There's a cashmere scarf. Dunhill. Limer boots. There's some crocodile belts from down under from Australia. The links are on a lot of these things. There's links if you still want to buy them new, but most of the stuff is you got to find vintage. They don't even make anymore. That coat. Russia. Me in Russia. Another Burberry. This was a fly front coat. Again, notice where it came from? Georgetown University shop. They got too much of my money back in the day. There's another one. That's a lined Burberry trench coat. There's the fly front coat again, wider shot. All cotton. Those are buffalo leather. Those are from Russell Moccasin Company in Wisconsin. Man, they make some comfortable shoes. Those are the ones I take when I'm traveling, when I really need some comfortable shoes for traveling and for hiking and whatever kind of nasty situation I might get into. Those Russells are all that and a bag of chips. Those are about a $400 pair of shoes. And they'll custom make them for you, too, if you need to. Those are, again, the Made in Maine collection from Sperry. Those are the, let's see what those are. Those are the Ranger moccasins, they call them. There's their Chukka boot. Same thing, made in Maine US collection. That's Allen Edmonds. These are also made in Maine for them, under contract. Top view. I wear those a lot. These are brand new, old stock, Ralph Lauren Thedford 2, made in USA. Now their shoes are made in China, so if you want these, you got to buy these new, old stock. They're still around. There's another pair of them. Again, that's a pair of topsider made in Maine collection. Those are the Captain's Oxfords. Another pair brand new, just so I have them, just in case I need them. I bought 2 or 3 pairs of those new old stock in the box. There's another pair. Those are also the Made in Maine collection. That's the boat shoe. Brand new. New old stock. Another pair. See, handcrafted in Maine. Made in USA. See that? And there's an Atlas briefcase made in Philadelphia. You can find them sometimes too. You got to know what you're looking for. You got to know the names, and once you get the knack of it, you'll know when you see quality. Church's shoes out of England. There's a crocodile caiman leather from Saks Fifth Avenue. That one has a lot of wear on it. I used that a lot back in the day. Here's another shot of that one. There it is, caiman leather, Saks Fifth Avenue, made in Italy for them. Here's a black one, same type belt, but a little bit thinner. That more for dress. Okay, now we're getting to the cashmere. You can see the name brands there. Garfinkel and Company, that was a really high-end. That was made in England. Here's another one. 100% cashmere. Here's another one. Cashmere. See the brand names? Okay. Bloomingdale's. They sell some good stuff. Oh, is that the one? Is that the one I have on now? Oh, darn it. This thing's going slow. They are slowing up. Flicker. Yeah, that's the one I have on now. Bloomingdale's. Okay, keep going here. Scotland. We're almost done. Trust me, I know you guys are bored by now. Now this one is wool and cashmere. 50-50. 50% cashmere and 50% lambswool. And they say it's moth-proof. I don't believe that. I think the moths would love to eat that if they got a chance. Here's another one. Now, this one's lambswool. And this one's lambswool, too. This is from Scotland. See that? A cashmere scarf. And this is made in USA. Cambridge Dry Goods. That's wool. And that's it. That'd be it. Man, that was a long... I'm sorry about that, but I tried to move through there as fast as I could. Okay, now let's catch up on the comments. Okay, 3 packs of cigarette. Okay, here we go. Correct. My favorite non-arguments people used to tell you what not to buy. Those things are dead, and no one wants those anymore. Bandwagon is the classic sign of having no creative idea of your own. Correct. The best thing to do is to buy really high-end, high-quality stuff that's going to serve you for a long time and is going to meet your needs and is going to be comfortable, and hopefully it'll look good so people will like it too. That's a nice spin-off benefit. But you buy high-end stuff that's of relatively conservative design, not the latest trend, not the flashy stuff that'll be in vogue all the time, that you can always wear and people aren't going to say, well, that was last year's thing, right? You're ahead of the game then, right? Because you're always comfortable. A high-end shirt is comfortable because it's got more material in it, more room to move. It just, the way it's tailored and all, it's hard to explain, but when you wear high-end stuff, it just feels better, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So which GS Quartz shitter do I downgrade my Tudor to? Okay, well, the 9F Quartz is fantastic. Like it said right here, 9F is robust and bulletproof. Absolutely it is. Also 25% cheaper to produce than the 8J, okay? Are these vintage used jackets? Most of the clothes that I just showed are at least 20, sometimes 30 years old, maybe even a little more than that, maybe upwards to almost 40 years old. I was buying a lot of high-end clothing when I was in the automotive business. I always was dressed really well because, I was in a public contact situation. I was selling cars to people. And so I wanted to present myself well. So I always bought high-end conservative stuff. And so as a consequence, I have a lot of high-end conservative stuff. And many of the items, like the Burberry trench coat you saw, you can still buy that brand new. Same exact design. They haven't changed it. Now, they have some trendier ones that they've rolled in and out on different seasons and all, but they still make the classic trench coat. So a lot of the things, like even a V-neck cashmere sweater like this, you can still buy if you go into a high-end clothing store. It's got to be pretty high-end, right? You'll still find these. They're going to probably be $250, maybe $300. I don't know how much they are now. They're expensive, okay? You're going to be able to find them. But it's not going to be that easy. You're going to have to go places where there's high-end stuff. Those sea turtle leather boots are stunning. Yeah, they just didn't fit me as well as the Lucchese's. The Lucchese's I had made to order to fit my feet, and they're just like, they fit like slippers. I showed you those the other day. I've got the black ones, and I've got the ostrich. Craig, put your date on the time check camera. It's going to see how superior the GS movements are. The date is packed away safe right now. They don't pay attention to the. Let's see. Okay. The Humus delivery guy just complimented my Tudor Black Bay a minute ago. He told me how he loved the nice red color. Told him that it's technically a Rolex, and gave him $5 as a tip. Was it too much? Well, the fact that you have to tell him that it's technically a Rolex says a lot right there. It's not a Rolex. Get rid of it and either get a Rolex, get a real Rolex. Here's a novel idea. Get a real Rolex, or get a real Omega, or better yet, get a GS and have the best. But the Tudor, there's no option in there for the Tudor. There's 3 options there. None of them include the Tudor. Don't pay attention. The moths, Craig. I've been lucky. I've had very little moth damage over the years because I have been kind of careful about it. And so, knock on wood, it has been a minor issue for me. I've maybe had a couple tiny little moth things on a couple of pieces in like 30 years. So I know people that have had infestations that have had like entire wardrobes just devastated. I mean, they like You know, they had everything in one closet. For example, I have stuff in different closets, so just in case one closet gets attacked, they may or may not get to the other. I've taken a lot of precautions over the years. A lot of the precautions I haven't had to take because I've never had a real infestation. But if I had one, I even have clothes that are at my other house that aren't even here in this house, right? So I spread out, I diversify, right? But yeah, you can't ignore that possibility. You have to take steps. Craig, what are your thoughts on Canali and Zag? I'm not sure what that is. Is that a clothing brand? I'm not sure. Get with the program. Baz, I'll deliver your hummus next time. You're giving away Black Bays as tips, right? He should just give that thing away. Just get rid of that damn thing. Bye-bye. Off to go meeting Sunday. Okay. I'm sorry, but the fact that you said your tutor was technically a Rolex was pretty cringeworthy. We're your tutor for that. It is, buddy. Probably mean for what it is. Yeah, just get rid of the tutor, Brian. That's the thing to do. Just get rid of the tutor. Hi, I've been watching your entertaining videos for a month or so. Kudos. Well, thank you. Thank you. Getting a tutor is like getting a musty Carter. I find that grade A cashmere pills too easily, and it's a bother to wash. I'd rather invest in something to wear regularly, which would last a while. Maybe you bought some low-grade stuff. I haven't had any pilling issues on any of my cashmere sweaters. Or maybe you've got the way you're taking care of them or something, you got some kind of problem. But on the high-end stuff, I haven't had any problem with that. But okay, let's get a time check here because I got to go get some H2O. Time check with some dust on the Grand Seiko. Some dust. See if I can dust that off. Oh, boy. That's good enough. Let me go get some H2O. Okay. Now, we'll address those other issues with cashmere. We address any of the issues that you all have. We do not dodge issues. All right, here's the deal with pilling. The other thing about pilling, very often, that tells me that you've got a blend, that you've got like a polyester and cashmere blend or something like that. Like if you buy a wool top coat and it's a wool and cashmere blend, they tend to pill because where the two things are wrapped together, I don't know, it just doesn't do right. Just like shirts, if you buy a polyester and cotton shirt blend, they'll pill around the neck. These all cotton shirts will wear, they'll get a wear hole in them. I mean, you know, they'll wear out, but they won't pill. They won't pill, period. I'm talking high end now. I'm not talking cheap junk. So that might be the problem you're running into. Make sure those things are 100% cashmere and they're high end, so whoever wove them knows what the hell they're doing. And you should not have a problem with pilling. Okay, at least I haven't had any problem with them. Let's see here. It seems like moths are a bigger threat in your home than home invaders. They have, like I say, I've been lucky. I haven't had a problem with moths, but they can be a threat if you don't, take care. Let's see. Are Italian fabric and clothing manufacturers. Okay, I'm just not familiar with them. It sounds like you need better cashmere, friend. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Maybe it's the weave. Maybe it's not 100% cashmere. Well, look at the sweep on that shitter. Okay. Beautiful. How can Rolex boys even compete? They can't. Where are you, Craig? Okay, I went to get some water. Too bad my wife would leave me if I wore a quartz watch. Well, you got to educate her as to what a 9F is. It's not your typical quartz watch. I could get used to that smooth secondhand. I did get used to it. I'm spoiled by it. I'm totally spoiled by my GS watches. That's why my Date 8 is in cold storage right now. I mean, I'm just totally spoiled by the accuracy, the comfort on wrist, the everything. The diver, the GS diver, is actually more comfortable on wrist for me, believe it or not. Oh, it's tilted a little bit. I don't know if I can straighten it up. It's more comfortable on wrist than the Date 8. I mean, can you imagine? That seems like it wouldn't even be possible. But it's the titanium and the bracelet and everything. It just all lends to exceptional comfort. Every little thing about the way the edges of the bracelet are finished and nice and softened and rounded, the flexibility of the bracelet, everything about it. And I never thought I'd say that because the Date 8 is a comfortable watch. Don't get me wrong. But that diver takes it to a whole nother level. And then this puppy here, it just disappears on your wrist. You don't even know this is on your wrist. I mean, yeah, it's just insane how comfortable this is. See the shape of the case? See how it's shaped? Oh, it's insane. Okay. How did all that, let's see. Trade your wife for GS, much better deal. I don't know. His wife might be all that. How did all the I'm not sure what you could be. I'm not sure. Craig, any remedy advice for my alpaca hair scarves that is shedding all over my wool overcoat? Again, I mean, you might be getting some budget stuff there. Like the hat I have that's rabbit fur that sheds like crazy. I mean, I bought it in Russia. All right. Looks like we're back. Looks like we are back. We had that little glitch again. I don't know what causes that. I don't know if it's my uplink gets interrupted. I'm trying to broadcast at a fairly decent bit rate in 1080p, and I'm using my Comcast, cable modem. So maybe sometimes they can't handle it, and it bombs out. I'm not sure what caused that. So anyway, let's get back to your questions. Wherever we left off, let me go back here. You lagged out again. Okay. Check the just. Okay. We talked about the chrono. Oh, by the way, I mentioned you're talking about free market dominates what's best. Okay. Here's the thing: the free market. A lot of times, people are stupid in the free market. Okay. So here's an example. Look how many people shop at Walmart. When was the last time Walmart sold anything decent? I kind of rest my case. Okay. Galaga, that is false things have objective measures. I don't know what he means by that. Okay. Switch off the same sad story. The fact that more people buy one thing over another does not dictate how good the product is. Absolutely, Bill, because a lot of these people are clueless. That's why I'm giving this example where you can go in to some of these thrift stores and buy some high-end stuff because the other people don't know. They don't have a clue what they're looking at. They look at a shirt and it's a nice color or something, and they're like, okay, I want this, right? And it's a piece of crap. And look at the car. Look at what they're taking when they go to check out, half of them. It's stuff that should just be taken home and washed and burned. I mean, what are they thinking half the time? And go look and see what people buy at Walmart. Take a field trip and go there one time and just watch what people are buying. They just buy a lot of crap half the time. If that ugly stainless steel diver is objectively nicer than Rolex. This isn't stainless steel. This one's titanium. The quartz interfered with his pacemaker. Absolutely, quartz. Rebooting. Okay, there's why I reboot. Okay. The feed got magnetized. Okay, the 9F pacemaker is robust and bulletproof. There you go. You can't magnetize a quartz movement. You can't? Are you sure? The free market tells what's best is another classic bandwagon argument. Would personally never wear secondhand clothes. Well, you can buy them new. There's nobody, well, actually, some of these aren't available new anymore. That could be a problem. But you can buy high-end clothes brand new. I mean, most of the clothes I have, I bought new. Some of them, like I say, are not available anymore because they don't make them here anymore. You know, the places have gone out of business or whatever. I think Garfinkel's went out of business. I think Lord & Taylor went out of business. I think a lot of the places, I know Raleigh's that I bought clothes from, Raleigh's Menswear, they went out of business. A lot of the high-end clothing companies in the U.S., now I'm talking in the U.S., have gone out of business. And a lot of those things are made in China or wherever now. But having said that, I think you can still go to some high-end men's clothing stores and get high-quality stuff. You're going to pay through the nose. It's going to be expensive, but it's probably worth it. But Chad, if you're careful and you buy some secondhand stuff that's in like mint condition, I mean, sometimes you can even buy stuff that still has the tags on it that hasn't even been worn. I mean, sometimes it's that good, right? You buy stuff in mint condition, and let's say it's a all cotton dress shirt. Just have it laundered. Just take it to the laundry, have them launder it and press it and starch it and all that. And I mean, any cooties that are in the shirt are going to be gone, trust me. And it's not like when you go to buy a lot of new clothes, it's not like other people haven't like handled them or tried them on or sneezed on them or whatever. I mean, God knows what that shirt or whatever it is has been through before it got to you. Brand new. I'll put it this way. If I didn't have the budget to buy new, and if I needed any clothes, of course, the 2 shirts I just bought the other day, of course, I bought new, right? So, you know, obviously I have the budget. But if I didn't have the budget to buy new, I would have no qualms about buying some really high-end stuff used. I don't have the time to do it. I don't have the time to go rummage around yard sales and thrift stores, and I just don't have the time to do it, you know. But if I did, I'd have no qualms about buying some really high-end stuff that way. And then if it needs to be laundered or whatever needs to be done to put it back into really good condition, I'd just do that and save a bunch of money. I'd have no problem with that. Okay, so let's see what else we got here. Second-hand sport coats, okay. Second-hand underwear, not okay. And again, it depends on the quality and the condition. We're talking, I would not recommend you buy anything that shows any signs of wear at all. Okay? Because that tells me it wasn't cared for, or it was used too much, or whatever. If it shows any signs of wear at all, I would pass. Okay? But if you buy a sport coat, for example, that is in fantastic condition, all right, that is 100% cashmere, that's from a high-end maker or tailor, and it fits you great, you try it on, it fits you great, and there's no visible stains or moth holes or anything. You examine the hell out of it, right? And there's no visible sign of any wear whatsoever. And you can buy that coat for, let's throw out a number, let's say $10. And let's say it's a $2,000, $3,000 sport coat. Okay, just to throw out a number here. So it's a high-end sport coat. It's multiple thousands of dollars, okay? You buy it for $10. You take that thing to the dry cleaner and have them do their thing. A high-quality dry cleaner that's not going to screw it up, right? And now you got a great sport coat to wear. I don't see a problem with that. Let me know in the chat if you think there's a problem with spending $10 for a $3,000 sport coat. Okay. The free market only tells you what people buy. Okay. So, Craig, be honest with me. 8J or 9F? I don't know the difference between an 8J and a 9F. I mean, I'm not an expert on these watches. I just know I've got a 9F and I love it. The Grand Seiko quartz that I'm familiar with is a 9F. I don't know what the 8J is. I don't know what the difference is between the two. But if Grand Seiko makes it, I can't imagine there's any issues with it. Secondhand sport, okay. Do you think there is a Rolex bubble? Absolutely there is. Problem with your views, Craig, is a contradiction. You like a purveyor of quality merchandise. However, watches you slant world's most recognized brands and create comparison with an unknown Grand Seiko. Grand Seiko is not unknown, guy. Go to YouTube and do a search and look at the factory tour videos. Look at all the information on Grand Seiko. I mean, it's no joke. Look at what Tim has to say at the Watchbox about Grand Seiko. It's not only me. I'm not the only one that says they're a higher quality watch than Rolex, that it's not even a close call. You know, you're talking to somebody who wore Rolexes for 40 freaking years, many different Rolexes. So, Anthony, don't tell me that you know what the hell you're talking about, because you don't. I'm sorry, but sometimes I've just got to set some of these people straight. And I had somebody tell me I was losing subscribers because of the way I'm pretty straightforward with people and sometimes blunt. First of all, they're clueless. I went into their YouTube and they have 4 subscribers, counting me. I went ahead and subscribed to them. I gave them the 4th subscription. And his videos have on average 2 views. So this guy's giving me advice about subscribers. And meanwhile, I'm up about 1,000 subscribers in the last 30 days. And you can go to my channel and look at the number of subscribers. It's not secret. So these people are clueless, some of them. And you know, I'm doing my best to try to help some of these trolls out. But you know, they just don't want to take assistance, some of them. You're reaching a hand out. You're trying to save these people from drowning. You're trying to pull them to safety, and they're arguing with you. Don't buy Chinese. Just don't buy Chinese. I agree. I tend to have most of my dress clothes custom made, or if I buy off the rack, I like Saks Fifth Avenue or Nordstrom's. Good move, Chad. Branding is not the same as quality. Rolex is quality, but I can also name half a dozen prestige brands that make garbage. And that's correct. And you have to, like, for example, if Chad shops at Saks Fifth Avenue, right? I've got a number of things that came from Saks Fifth Avenue. A lot of their stuff is great, but there's probably going to be some stuff that they're going to sell from time to time that I would probably pass on. So it's not a rubber stamp, you know, hey, everything's great from a particular brand. You also have to be discerning and you have to look over the thing. Like, for example, some of the Grand Seiko watches I think are ugly. Period. Straight up ugly. I wouldn't buy them. There's some Rolexes that I think are ugly. Even back in the day, there were some Cellinis that I thought, man, why in the hell did they bother to ever make it? And now, with, of course, the Maxi case, they screwed up the case on all of those that have the Maxi case. I mean, they took a beautiful watch and just hit it with an ugly stick a couple times. And people are like, oh, my God, I got to have the Maxi case. I mean, people have no freaking taste half the time. My 11th grade history teacher gave me a 100% cashmere sport coat that hadn't fit him since the 1980s. It's one of the nicest pieces of clothing I own. Well, there you go. I'd love to see a photo of that coat. Tune in for another episode of Old Man Argues with People. There you go. LOL. LOL. I have 4 subscribers. I hope it wasn't you. Hi, Craig. A lot of your mokes in chat right now, boasting about subs. Old man losing his mind. Absolutely. Question. I've been looking at a Submariner, no date. The only difference in prices seems to be no box, no papers, no manual. Movement confirmed Rolex, which seems to add 1,000. In other words, box papers and all that adds 1,000 is what you're saying? Kevin, I would take my time because I think the market is peaking, and I would try to find one. If you absolutely want one of those watches, I'd try to find a one-owner, original owner watch with all box and papers, with the name of the person on the papers who's selling it to you, so you know it's an absolute one-owner watch. I think there's value in that, in knowing the real history of a watch. But that's just me. I'm real funny about stuff. Okay. Out of potatoes. Did you send mommy to get you a bag? Okay. If buying with not intent on flipping, okay to purchase, what say you? Whatever you're buying, the deal is made at the deal. I mean, you want to get a good deal. Once you give them your money and you take that watch, your money is gone, man. You can't renegotiate that deal. And trust me, when you're a buyer, you're in the driver's seat. I don't care how people want to try to act like, oh, these watches are in so demand and all that. They're trying to sell a watch. It ain't that easy to sell a watch. It isn't that easy to get people to cough up many thousands of dollars for a used watch. They can act like it's easy all day long. It ain't that easy. Trust me. And if you sell it through a party like Chrono24 or eBay or something like that, they're all going to charge fees, right? So you're not going to net all the money. So you're in the driver's seat if you're buying, as far as I can tell. I have a quick question about movements. What mechanical movements is as reliable and durable as in Patek Philippe or Lange is less durable? What other movements can compare as Grand? Okay, so I think the Omega, from what I've read, I think the Omega movement is fantastic. The way they did that escapement and all that is really innovative and by all accounts very rugged. So I think that the two I would rate the highest as far as, you know, mainstream, I call them high end. I mean, I think Omega, Rolex, Grand Seiko are all high end. Any watch that's more than a few $1,000s to me is high end. So I would say Omega and Grand Seiko are right there. And the spring drive in the Grand Seiko is extremely robust. By all accounts, it's an extremely robust. And so is the 9F quartz. The 9F quartz is like bulletproof. So there you go. You're wrong. I went to Seiko here in Panama yesterday after watching your video and saw the footprint ceramic titanium chrono available for $11K. What we're wrong about what? What were we wrong about? Let us know in the chat. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Okay, Grand Seiko's bulletproof. Absolutely. Chinese are upping quality. It's only some companies want cheap stuff and sell. Some of the stuff in China is made okay, like the Apple iPhone. I think they do a good job keeping the quality, but they really run herd over them and make sure that the quality is maintained. Spyderco knives, some of them that are made in I think Taiwan are good. I'd still rather have a Spyderco knife made in Japan or made in U.S. They make them both those places. I'd still rather have one of those. So I'd still rather have something else than other than made in China. I own 150K in watches, numerous brands. Seiko looks great, I agree, but brand prestige is polyester or cashmere. Not sure what you mean by that. The reason why I would get cashmere is it's more comfortable. It breathes. It's more comfortable. Might get some polyester that feels like cashmere and all, but when you wear it, it's not the same. It's just not the same. So there's that. Eric's in the house. Eric, how's your jumpy Grand Seiko doing? How's it going, Craig? Happy Sunday. Okay, if you want a beautiful thing hit by the ugly stick and ruin, you should see the new Aston Martin Vantage. I can understand, even though no plan on flipping it. Okay. You know it's really hard to believe someone that lies. Okay, that's correct. That would be correct. Can you negotiate with Crown? You can negotiate with anybody. You got the money ready. You're ready to deal. Okay, Omega, Rolex, and Grand Seiko movements are bulletproof. You can't go wrong with them. JLC, Audemars, shoot, it jumped. Okay. Audemars, Piguet, Patek Philippe movements can have durability and reliability problems. I hear you. Thanks for the answer. Don't forget Tudor. Skip Tudor. The only Tudor I want would be the GMT. No, don't even go there. Just leave the Tudors alone. Eric Lynn, just sell those darn Tudors. Hell yeah, sell them before the market crashes completely. I just shared an article, Eric, showing the market crashing. Let me put the link back in the chat. Let me go to it here. Here's the article. I'm going to put it back in the chat for those of you that missed it, because this bull market in watches could be coming to a screeching halt. For how much would you sell your date 8? It's not for sale. Why do people keep asking me that? I keep telling them it's not for sale. I would say, because first of all, most of the people that ask me that question, they don't have any money. So that's the problem there. I would say yes to Tudor reliability, but the GMT has been giving problems. So that knocks them down a bit. Yeah, forget Tudor altogether. I meant polyester equals Seiko and cashmere equals Rolex. Yeah, right. Not even close. Because Seiko is higher quality. Now, we're talking Grand Seiko now, just to be clear, is definitely higher quality and more useful and more comfortable than Rolex. So it would be the cashmere in that analogy. Okay. Bonjour. Thanks for the time and effort. The SKX007 is the best value. Not all can afford all the others. Well, there you go. That's the other good thing about Seiko is they make for all price ranges. They make for all price ranges. I own many watches from Tudor to Patek, and will say from a Rolex versus Omega standpoint, my Omega Planet Ocean I purchased last month, movement-wise, surpasses Rolex easily. Master Coaxial 8900 winner. Hell yeah. Absolutely. I would sell a lot of those watches, Chad, before the market crashes. I'd get out while you can get out. Skip the GMT. Absolutely skip the GMT. You're talking about Tudor. Yeah, skip that. Keeping plus 8 seconds per day. Plus 0.8 seconds per day. Okay, that's good. All right, Eric, what about a report on your jumpy spring drive? I think his spring drive was settling into the new home and just had a little like welcoming little jump. He just wanted to get attention. If you really want that GMT look and reliability, skip the Tudor GMT. Just go for the Steinhardt GMT Pepsi for under $600 and save for a real GMT. That would be a smart move. That would be, Brian is giving some really good advice there. Skip the GMT. Rolex GMT costs too much. Problem with Omegas are they're too damn thick and bulky. I think we checked yesterday, the Railmaster wasn't too bad on the thick aspect of it. I'm going to examine those watches in person, and I'll give you guys a full report when I do that. Wait, if the market crashes, what brand will hold? None of them. So here's the thing. Running okay for now. It was fine as of this morning. Okay, good. Eric, I think you just had a little glitch there where it was kind of giving you a signal that it wants those damn tutors out of the house. It was trying to give you a little wake-up call to get rid of those damn tutors. And hopefully you will listen. Let's do a time check here. Hopefully you'll listen and get those tutors the heck out of the house, because they can't stay in the same space with a watch like a GS. I'm wearing the Steinhardt GMT 39 millimeter, and it's bulletproof. Well, there you go. I had a Steinhardt GMT. I've got a video here on my channel, so you can check that out. My tutors run at plus 1 second a day. But get rid of those damn tutors, Eric. My God, man, get rid of them. There's just no reason to keep a tutor. No valid reason to keep a tutor. Period. Full stop. End of situation. Okay, I see Seiko's branding as being their biggest issue. People are going to associate Grand Seiko with commonplace one. I don't care what people... Most people are broke. I heard Dave Ramsey say today, a brand association... Okay. I heard Dave Ramsey say today on one of his shows, and I don't know if he's right, but he said that 60% of Americans now are living paycheck to paycheck. That basically they have no savings, they're in debt, they have no net worth, and they're basically living paycheck to paycheck. I thought it was 50%, but he said 60%. So here's the thing. Don't do what most people do. Most people are clearly stupid. They're broke. They have no clue what they're doing. They have no taste. So don't follow them. Like, for example, Eric, he's a smart guy. He's an educated guy. He's got a fantastic watch now. He's got a Grand Seiko Spring Drive. But yet he's holding on to those damn tutors. I mean, give me a freaking break. Get rid of those damn things and put that money in an investment. When the market crashes, you'll be more worries about where to buy your next meal than... Well, if you got to worry about your next meal, you probably shouldn't have multiple high-dollar watches. I don't understand why people have so many watches to start with. I mean, I can understand a good, solid 2-watch or even 3-watch rotation, okay? I can grasp that concept. But when you've got 6 or 7 high-end watches or more, that's ridiculous. I mean, I don't get that. That's just stuff you got to take care of. You got to store. You got to worry about. I mean, it's just, life's too short to go through all that nonsense. And then half of these people don't even wear the watches. And half of them want to get them and want to have the plastic still on them. They don't even want to take the plastic off. Give me a freaking break, people. I picked up a Yachtmaster 2 white gold and a Submariner white gold, both for less than their stainless steel counterparts. The market is crazy. Way, good move, Andy. Anthony going for the gold. Good move, man. Honestly, absent of GS, I'd get a Steinhardt before Rolex, before Tudor. Yeah. And guess what? You can get a GS for about the same price as you can get a Steinhardt. We just saw some real deals on eBay. That's going to be a 9F quartz. Appreciate the input, but my watches are no way an investment. I wear them because I like them. They are not holding up any of my money. I'm an investor by trade, and watches are not part of that. Good move, Chad. Good move, Chad. Absolutely. What's wrong with Tudor? Oh, that's funny. Oh, no. What's wrong with Tudor? Oh, where do I start? Oh, man. Let's put it this way. If you have to ask that question, you probably shouldn't be considering buying a watch. I'll just say. The build quality in Steinhardt is awesome. Every bit as good as a Tudor. I'll grant you that. At Ryan, overpriced, nothing special, poor resale. Other than that, the Tudor's great, right? Let's see. When today's okay. What is the timekeeping on your Steinhardt? Tom will answer you that. I don't remember what mine was. I sold it years ago. When today's youth grows up, will they gravitate towards Apple Watches, etc., further hurting the luxury? I'm surprised the luxury watch market is doing as well as it is right now, to tell you the truth. I didn't think there was as many of us people that really like a luxury watch as there seem to be. I think one thing that's really propping up the luxury watch market right now is the speculators. The people that are buying like multiple watches and hoping to make money on them and stuff. I think that's really, and when that adjusts, I'm not going to use the term crash because I don't think it's going to crash, but when there's a major adjustment, I think we're going to start seeing who the real enthusiasts are and who were just in it on the speculation. It's the same thing with Bitcoin, right? Last fall and in January of this year, early part of January, when everything was going crazy and it went up to almost 20 grand, you had all these Johnny-come-latelys jumping in and all these speculators and all these people, now they're all being flushed out. Now, it's down to like, what's it at 3,500 or something? I don't know what it's at today, but it's way, way down. And all those speculators, all those what we call weak hands, they're all being flushed out of the system. And us long-time holders that are long-time investors, we're going to be the ones left. And the same thing is going to happen with the watch thing, I think. I think what's going to happen is the real people that are really passionate and enjoy these watches and use them and wear them, not safe queens, but actually wear and use them, I think we're going to be the ones left, and the prices are going to come back to earth. People should never use their bottom last dollar to buy these luxury items. And some people, worse than that, some people go into debt to buy them. I don't understand people talking about price investment. You have to buy what you can afford. Entry-level brand as Tissot is just excellent. But if money is not a problem for you, just buy what you like. Absolutely. If you have to ask the question about resale value on your watch, then that's a telltale sign that you can't afford it. Somebody that's really affluent that goes into a Rolex dealer and buys a Day-Date or whatever, right? They don't leave the store thinking about what the watch is worth. When I bought my Day-Date brand new in the year 2000, I went in and I negotiated because I know you can negotiate, right? I was paying cash, so I know I could negotiate. So I negotiated what I thought was a fair price. I bought two watches. I bought the Day-Date and I bought the Lady Date with diamonds for my now ex-wife. Anyway, I bought both watches at the same time, cash deal. And when we left there, we weren't worried about what the watches were worth. We just bought the watches to wear. And that's what real people do. Real people aren't concerned with what the watch is going to be worth 5 years down the road or 10 years down the road or whatever. They're not even thinking about that. They're just going in and buying a damn watch. I mean, that's the way it is. If you're in debt, you're a moron. If you want financial freedom, you need to find a way to make income 24/7, not just when you work. Have multiple investments and sources of income. Good. Absolutely. Very good idea. Very, very good idea. Next, meal issue by Sandy 660 Quartz. Not sure what all that means. Archie just got 4 Rolexes. Did you see that? Oh, boy, Archie. You see, half the time you don't know if he actually owns those watches or if he's just selling them for somebody or what the hell's going on. You trust me, you don't really know with Archie what's going on. Not sure what my comment about Seiko's shitty marketing has to do with people's income. Craig, do you watch producer Michael on YouTube? He's super rich and has some crazy watches. I've watched the London guy, that London watch collector guy. He's been buying a lot of expensive watches. He must have money. Thoughts on the Seiko Samurai? Looking for a better watch to complement my beater watch. I would get the Shogun. I wore the Shogun for a couple of years, Ryan, and I loved it. I think it'd be a great beater watch. They can take a beating, too. What's right with Tudor is a better question. Oh, my God. People are slamming on Tudor. What's wrong with Tudors? Okay. Tudors. Oh, boy. Okay. Thing keeps jumping on me. Okay. Buying Smart Buddy, skipping the stainless steel group behavior and getting the higher end unsung gold Rolex Legends. Yeah. Absolutely go for the gold. Plus 2 secs a day, whatever that means. Seiko Samurai is a great watch, but it doesn't look good on most straps and was too large and bulky for my 6.75-inch wrist. Yeah, I think for your wrist size, the Shogun would be great in titanium. It'd be very comfortable. And it looks great on a strap, too. Seriously, Craig, not really a Tudor fan myself, but curious as to why you dislike them. It's not that I dislike them. It's just there's no reason to buy it when you have better options. It's like if somebody asked me, what's wrong with a Nissan? Why don't you like a Nissan car? Or why don't you like a Subaru or whatever? Well, because Toyota's better. When I can buy a Toyota and get a better car, I'm going to just go ahead and buy the Toyota. So I can buy better cars. I'm not saying the Tudor's junk. It's not that well finished. It's not that high quality. It's just not all that. It's just the Omega is better, Rolex is better, and Grand Seiko is better. So I'd rather buy one of those 3 options than a Tudor. To me, there's a lot of watches at the Tudor level. Or, there's a whole bunch of watches that would be similar to Tudor. A whole bunch of them. Breitling, there's a whole bunch of watches you could buy. But I don't want any of those. I want to buy one of the top tier watches, which in my estimation are Omega, Rolex, and Grand Seiko. Okay. That's great timing on your Steinhardt time. Better than... Okay. Steinhardt ceramic is sweet. How's the timekeeping on your GS Diver now that you've had it 6 months? After about 5 minutes, it was within like a second, but then I had to reset it for daylight savings time changed. And that was what, a month ago now, or 3 weeks ago, or whatever. It's within a second. I mean, it's like spot on. It's insanely accurate. It's absolutely ridiculous how accurate it is. Same thing with the 9F. Now, the 9F you expect to be, because it's pretty much guaranteed to be within 10 seconds a year. So you expect this to be spot on. But the this puppy is also spot on. Spot on accurate. When that table shakes like that. I got to get a more stable table or something. But anyway, I'm trying to sell this whole setup. So we'll see what happens with that. I'll have more money to buy watches. Okay. That's great. Okay, so Steinhardt, how's the timekeeping on your geo? Okay, I just answered that. Archie is in Hong Kong picking up his Patek. Oh, okay. Yep, you get a lot of watch for your money with a Steinhardt. They are Swiss-made, far better than Chinese-made. Okay. What's that other homage watch that's real high quality that's like $900 or something? The name's escaping me right now. But it's really, supposedly, really high quality. You guys will know. You'll put the name in the chat. If I was going to buy a homage watch, that's probably the one I would buy. Like around $900. You guys know what I'm talking about. You can usually get them for around $700 on eBay used. Tudor is plus or minus 4 to 2 seconds a day. That's terrible. Yeah, I wouldn't want to watch that inaccurate. That's why I got rid of the Shogun. It just wasn't accurate enough. I'd still be wearing it today. I'm going to read the rest of these comments, and I'm gonna wrap up. Okay, Craig, how do you like the SBGV? Okay, let's take a look at this. Take a look at that puppy. Let's try to pull up an image here. Yeah, I don't like that case design. I'll bring it up on the I don't like that squared off case. They've been making a number of watches with that case lately. Let's see what this one. See what I mean? See how it's real squared off and like kind of chunky looking. I don't like that. That would be a pass. I would pass on that one. Go back to this one. Look at that beauty. That is freaking gorgeous. Oh my God. Are you freaking kidding me? Okay. All right. So yeah, I'd pass on that. Tudors, ambassadors aren't the problem. The problem is they make a lot of dog watches, and the ones that are good, they make deliberately uglier and worse than the equivalent Rolex model. I hear you. Check that bad boy out. Parnas equals how much? Better than Steiner. Yeah, Ganault. That's it. Ganault Ocean Rover. Ganault. That thing, by all accounts, is a high quality watch. I mean, absolutely, that's what I would buy if I was going to buy homage. And I think they have some good options that you can get as far as, the design and stuff. How does the article you linked show that Rolex will go down in price? What I got from it is that the Swatch Group is having a hard time moving product. No, they were talking about a lot of those brands, including Rolex. There are increasing numbers of them showing up on Chrono 24 brand new. In other words, gray market watches that the ADs can't sell, that they're selling out the back door to gray market dealers, and they're ending up on Chrono 24 and other places. So it's indicating that they're having problems selling the watches. So go take another look at that article, and you'll see what I mean. Can't stand the snowflake hands on Tudors. Okay. Right. Okay. The snowflake hands ruin Tudors for me. I feel like they are made to be deliberately worse than every Rolex in the lineup. Deliberate kneecapping of design is not cool to me. Yeah, especially when you can buy that Ganault Ocean Rover, right? I mean, here's the deal. The Tudor has no name as far as I'm concerned. Doesn't have the name Rolex. I don't care if it's made by Rolex or not. It doesn't have the name. So if I'm going to get a no-name watch, I might as well get the Ganault Ocean Rover. To me, that's a better watch than the Tudor. And it's going to be less money. Done deal. Done deal there. And they got some great hands on the Ganault. They got some great, and they think there's some different options on there. Let's take a look at the Ganault. Let me pull up the Ganault. What about Crador higher than Grand Seiko? Some of the Cradors I've seen I've liked, and some of them not so much. The designs on some of them are edgy. And they're not officially available in the U.S., so it's a little trickier to get them. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Crador in general. Okay, here's Ganault. All right. Let's pull this one up. That is a pretty cool looking watch. I'm sorry, people. I mean, I would pick that over a Tudor any day. Any freaking day. And from what I understand, the quality of the bracelet and everything is pretty good. And look at the case. It's got more like the old style case. It doesn't have the maxi case. So it's a little more elegant. Here's a wrist shot. I think absolutely I would go that route. I think, do they make a GMT? I don't know if they do or not. Let me do another search. Ganault GMT. Let's see if they make a GMT. Maybe they don't. I'm not seeing one. Wait, is that a Ganault? Or is that a Steinhardt? I think that's a Steinhardt. Maybe they don't make a GMT. Oh, this is the forum. Well, anyway, maybe they don't make a GMT. You guys can let me know in the chat if they make a GMT. Okay, so let's go back here to the... I'm going to do a few more questions and I'm out of here, folks. What about Crador? Okay. The BB58 should have Mercedes hands. Okay, I agree. I like the hands on the Tudor are ugly. I like the Tudor snowflake hands, but not the minutes and hours. Yeah. You want accurate watch. The Longines VHP is 5 seconds a year. There you go. The some of the Grand Seikos are 5 seconds a year too. Excuse me. What is the BB58? Okay. Blackberry 58 is 39 millimeter model. Okay. I only own blue chrono Tudor as a beater. Ryan, the text on the Ganault is so bloody cringy, though. Kinetic, continuous, precision chronometer. Should have left it blank. Well, I would always be a fan of less text, absolutely, but still, I still think it's a better watch than a Tudor. Wouldn't buy another, but I like the chrono. Okay. Prefer the Steinhardt over the Ganault. Okay. I own the Steinhardt. I love the Mercedes hands. Absolutely. The hands are great. The Steinhardt is a really good value, I think. I did a review on one. There's a review here on my channel. I would skip the Tudor Black Bay and save the money for Rolex 39 or Oyster Pretzel 39. Basic no-date Rolex to me is still hands down better than the most complicated Tudor. Absolutely, Brian. You're nailing it, man. Steinhardt is too rough. Absolutely. Row, you're okay. All right, everybody. Hey, thank you. And remember, tomorrow night at 10 p.m., Cowgirls Live. Tomorrow night at 10 p.m. on this channel, Cowgirls Live. Tune in and show some support for Sarah. She's just getting started. She did her first show last week. And give her some time to get going. Clive is in here just in time for us to wrap. Just in time for us to wrap the show. Clive is in the house. In the house. Clive, I'm going to put the link to the article that we discussed back in the chat in case you missed it. The article that portends the coming crash. I'll be there, Craig. All right. Cowgirls Live tomorrow night at 10 USA Eastern Time. Cowgirls Live tomorrow night at 10 USA Eastern Time with Sarah hosting live. She will take your questions. Now, please be appropriate, okay? Don't ask her to do some hula hooping, although we might have her do it at some point, but don't be obvious as far as what you guys are after, okay? Be a little bit tactful. You understand using a little bit of tact? Okay. I guess that'll be a wrap. Thank you all for watching. Let me see if I can get this thing to terminate. Terminate. Complete.